And now for today's out of context quote from the Discord. You know, I'm surprised I've never seen an animation of the Tootsie Pop owl eating ass.
Yeah, I saw that. That was
One, two, three.
Thanks, Zero. That was exactly what this conversation needed.
Mm-hmm. Time to commission Shadman. Thanks, Ethan. That's... yeah. Appreciate it.
Why?
Fucking psychopath. I don't... You with us, Slicer?
What was that?
Are you with us?
Yeah.
Yeah, cool. Because
no,
we've
you did.
started like 5 minutes ago. I opened with that. So...
I was figuring.
Okay,
I
then.
just...
Yeah,
Hi, everybody.
I feel like
Welcome to the podcast. What were you saying?
I feel like he's going to commission that because if we had to suffer this conversation and the people in the Discord had to suffer that conversation, then the rest of the world deserves it.
If anyone would be that spiteful against the world to actually make something like that, it would be Ethan.
There you go. Exactly.
Ugh. Had a not safe for work shithole open for 5 seconds and he puts glass ass. Psychopath. So yeah. Hi everybody. Podcast time. Hello. Nice to meet you.
Hi, everybody.
Hey-o.
Yeah, only 3 people today. Me, Zero, Slicer.
Kenji didn't show up.
Kenchi's normally pretty good about telling us if he's not going to be able to make it, even last minute, so it must be
No, he's
something.
not.
Something. Isn't
It's like
Thought he was.
50-50. But yeah. Oh well. That's fine though. Because, you know. Meh. How's everybody doing? We good?
pretty good?
I'm doing pretty good. I nearly died, but that's just life.
How did that happen?
Well, a few days ago, I was driving down the highway, and the car in front of me suddenly braked, and I swerved to try to not crash into the car, and ended up hitting a semi. So my car, it might be totaled, might not be. The entire driver's side is messed up, and my airbags did not deploy.
Oh,
Hmm.
that's not good.
But I currently am not in the hospital, so
Are you okay though?
yes, I think. My neck and
I
head
mean-
were kind of hurting afterwards, but other than that, I'm pretty fine. I think that was just whiplash.
Do you think it was an actual whiplash or just like the stress of the situation?
I don't know. I've been lying down a lot, so I don't, I took yesterday off from work because of everything that happened. So I was told later that if I had hit at if it had been a slightly different distance, I probably would have been sucked under the semi, and then I'd be dead. So, yay. I'm alive.
Do you know why they break?
There was, I guess, traffic suddenly came to a halt, but there was very little warning. They didn't slow down. They just suddenly braked, and I braked, but I was going to hit them. So I panicked and tried to swerve around, and yeah.
I've done that, and I slid off the road and was very lucky that it was just grass beside the road. If it was like a ditch or there was even a pole or anything like that, I would have slammed right into it.
But yeah, that happened 2 days ago. So yeah, I'm feeling pretty happy to be alive right now.
Driving is fun.
Talk about
Uh-uh.
close calls.
Um. Yeah. I'm glad
It's
you're
not-
okay.
Yeah, I'm glad I am too. Without a car for a while, but hey, I'm alive, so
Mm.
I'm trapped at home.
Do you have any idea when the card, like when they're gonna declare it either totaled or fixable?
They're doing that today,
Ah,
so we'll find out.
what kind of car did you have, by the way?
2010 Mazda 6.
Okay. I'm basing entirely off the year because I'm not really familiar with car models, but I know my car will be declared totaled if I hit a hard wind. Blue Book value was like $800
Blue
because
Book
it's a
value for
2002.
mine. Blue Book value for mine. This is generally a lot more than that, so it's a fairly nice car.
Yeah,
But
so I hope they can actually fix it, or if it's worth
yeah,
it for them to fix it instead of just going fuck it and then giving you a check and you have to find a new car.
I mean, yeah, I have a savings account for specific emergencies like this, but it's not nice.
Whew.
I know, right? So that's been a big part of my week.
Yeah. Sounds like it. Yeah.
I was really shaken the other day, but I've calmed down. We'll see how it's like if I ever try to get on the road again. When I try to get on the road again,
Mm.
not if I ever. But we'll see how that is like, because I remember last time I got into a wreck. I felt very anxious about ever making a left turn again. So yeah, that lasted for a long time. So we'll see.
Hmm.
Uh, on brighter news, I did beat three houses, at least one of the routes, in that Fire Emblem Three Houses.
That's a subject change.
Yeah, let's not talk about my near death and distract myself with the consumerism. Um, but that's a good game. That's a very good game.
So I hear.
I'm on my second playthrough of it right now. They really put a lot of effort into the writing. They got a really good writer for this. There's some stuff that are like twisted or a little bit obvious, but other than that, like, there's no quote unquote good side in this game.
Yeah. Like.
I missed the name of the game. What is it?
Fire Emblem Three Houses.
Oh, God. Okay, yeah, I've heard nothing but good things about that so far.
Yeah. Like. From what I've heard, Three Houses is. It sounds like a not great title, but it really does delineate what they're actually trying to do with the game. Is they are very different storylines. They are very separate storylines.
Yes, I'll just give some information that you can probably get from the trailers, but there's a time skip in which the land finds itself embroiled in a war. You will not be given the choice most of the time on whether or not to kill former students at the academy. It's very
Well,
much,
shit.
yeah, no, you have to kill them sometimes. And you can try to recruit students into your class before the time skip from other houses, but there's no way you're going to recruit all of them. That's impossible. No matter what, you're going to be feeling terrible, and that's on purpose. That's a good thing. It means there's consequences. There's a lot of really good drama that comes from that. Like one character I recruited post time skip had to kill his father, and that was because he was the country that he had joined, the country that my house represented, and the country that he was from ended up in war against that house, and we had to fight his homeland. And that's the kind of stuff where it's like, oof.
That's pretty rough. Yeah.
Yeah.
So basically, you got someone to turn traitor, and they played that out entirely straight of how that would go.
Yes.
That's ballsy.
It's really good.
It's for the Switch, right?
Yep.
Yeah, it's for the Switch. They are committed to breaking your heart. Like, you can have because characters before the time skip, they can have paralogs together, even though they're from different houses, and they can bond. And so when you have them face each other in combat later, they have special dialogue and such.
Oh, that's potentially heartbreaking.
Yes.
I need to get this game.
It's heartbreaking, and it is committed to its goals. And yeah, the first half is very much Persona-ish in terms of like progression of everything, and then it starts to hit you with gut punch again and again as you get into the second half of the game, where it's like everything you did back then, here's the consequences of your choices.
Oh. Are both halves of the game fun?
Yes.
Okay.
Very.
That's really what the most important part.
And you can pick your one of three houses, right? And each house has its own story that spirals very differently from the others.
Yeah.
Which, yeah.
From what you've said, it sounds like there's two different sides to the game, right? There's the officer training school half, where it's all, okay, let's do the lessons and socialize and Persona, slice of life, dating sim-ish kind of content, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then you've got the tactical RPG, Fire Emblem side of it. So from the sounds of it, the first half of the game leans heavier on the Persona side, and then the second half leans on the Fire Emblem side. Am I understanding that right?
To be exact, the elements of a lot of the core gameplay elements don't go away when you reach the second half.
Yeah, I'm not saying they go away. I just mean it leans heavier on one side than the
The
other.
stakes become a lot higher.
Yeah.
And it becomes more like a Fire Emblem proper, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
So there's a build up, and then there's then it goes.
And it's not like a partway through thing where you choose which house. It's like the first 5 minutes or so, right? That's what I've heard.
It's very early on you choose a house, and that will determine. It's before you do an official chapter, really. You do the tutorial quests, and then eventually get to pick your house after talking to all the characters and getting to know them and deciding which ones seem to fit your playing style. Because like one house is more cavalry units, one house is more bow units, one house is more magic units.
There are apparently guides that have been posted up, like, here's all the things you should probably know before you play Three Houses to figure out what kind of experience you want. And it outlines all the different combat styles of each house and what they can do, and also what the tone of the story is for the most part.
So with these characters and everything, you can you're a teacher, right? So you focus on raising certain skills, and that allows them to change their classes and everything as they level up. And you can also improve your own skills to get your own sort of different build, if you wish, for your professor, your main character. And each character has different affinities, like with skills that they are particularly good with, but that may not fit with kind of the default sort of push that they're getting, so you can push them into a different direction for a class. And there's a lot of customizability.
Cool.
So, it's recommended you look ahead and see, okay, these skills are required for these classes. And even if you don't have those skills, if you're close, that just means there's only a % chance of you actually being able to class up, rather than you just can't do it,
Yeah.
which I like.
Another thing I've heard about the game, like I listened to Giant Bomb talk about it a little bit, and there's something I'm very interested in, which is you said it's customizable, and from what it sounds like you just went into a lot of detail on like you can, train up all the different skills and class changes and all this stuff, and you can go really deep on that. But from what I've heard from Giant Bomb and stuff, is pretty much the entire game you can customize your experience, so you can go as deep as you want like you did, or you can just not do any of that shit and just say just go in this direction and it'll just do it for you. And that applies also on the tactical side.
If you don't want to worry about that, you can put in, there's an auto instruct, which basically does everything for you, works on the skills that you already have set as goals for them, which you can do. And then there's also, for combat, you can set units' behavior so that you don't have to control them and that they can go on a predetermined behavior that you set. It's very customizable, and it's not like, as far as Fire Emblem games go, it's not the most difficult, but at least on normal mode. So it's very easy to get into if you're new to the series.
The setting them on autopilot, is the stupid, or do they act smartly?
I don't know, but from what I've seen from the enemy AI, I'm guessing it's gonna be pretty smart. Because the enemy AI does some pretty smart stuff at times.
Okay, plus,
well, that's good.
There's so much stuff in the back end now of how you can fix mistakes anyway. Like they have, obviously, the casual mode where no one dies.
Yeah, well, casual mode.
No one dies in a battle. Let's say.
Casual mode. Your units do not die in battle. They're not lost forever. Which I think that cuts away a key part of the experience, because they have death quotes that they get to say otherwise, especially in the second half.
That's very much a taste kind of thing, is my opinion, though, like whether you want that or not.
Yeah.
And then also it has the mulligan system new in this one as well. Right?
So you have a system called the Divine Pull that lets you rewind to any sort of movement or turn that ever since the beginning of the fight. And you have at the start 3 charges of that. So if you make a mistake, you can just go back. Also, when you put a unit into an enemy's range, you can see aggro lines that lead from the enemy to that unit, and see which enemies are going to attack this unit. You can run over and highlight the enemies, and you'll see how much damage they'll do, what the percentage of hitting that character is, which character they're targeting, and how much of that life bar that will be.
They're really playing up the tactician angle then, because that's a lot of data that is not really realistic to have. But
there's a lot more information, and that's very helpful. Nothing ever feels like it's BS, because if you put a character here and it's like, oh, I put my priest right here, and then all of a sudden like 5 aggro lines target them, I'm just gonna rewind a move and not do that. And you get more charges of the Divine Pulse as you play through the game and as you upgrade stuff, and that really helps in terms of like helping you to make smart decisions, and especially on classic mode where you don't want to lose a single unit. And in New Game Plus, there's a resource you have, which you can use in the first playthrough, but it's called Renown. So you can use that to instantly upgrade any sort of skills or level or support levels you had with unit back to what they were, although it's limited. So you gotta choose what you want to upgrade, but you get more Renown through that playthrough, which means New Game Plus is a lot of fun. It can move very quickly. You can choose what you want, add in new features and everything. Yeah, lots of fun.
Yeah, no, based on considering the game has pretty massive branching paths, I mean, that's pretty awesome that you can do New Game Plus. Like that's great.
It carries over. You can upgrade these statues, which increase how well you're able to teach your students. and those statues carry over. So you can just keep leveling those up until they're maxed out, and then boom, there you go. It becomes a lot easier to level, a lot easier to recruit students, and so on and so forth. There are some students you can't recruit, though, because they are basically tied too deeply to the main character of that house.
Oh, gotcha.
No NTR.
So,
Got it.
yeah, kind of.
With how insanely popular that's been in Japan, I'm kind of surprised.
But
Nintendo doesn't truck with that shit.
but
Well,
on the,
Bowser, you could argue, but, never mind.
in terms of the whole romance thing, you can't romance anybody before the time skip, which 5 years take place, so everybody is in their 20s.
Of course you can't. Love has to bloom on the battlefield.
Also, there are teacher options, so that's really nice.
Oh, so like your fellow instructor then. Okay, got it.
Yeah, rather than, trying to fuck one of your students, which... Yeah...
Yeah.
Ethics are a little wonky in the pseudo-Middle Ages.
There's this one
Yeah.
mercenary girl called Shamir, and she's amazing, and you should romance her. At the start of the game, she is 24.
Okay.
There we go. She's not a student.
Does she actually look 24?
Yes.
I mean, it's anime,
Okay.
so that literally doesn't mean anything anymore, but yeah.
I'll send a picture, and then you guys will probably be able to. But this character is really nice. I like this character.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, very fun game.
I can appreciate a woman who will happily wear a collar. I'm into some shit. Anyway.
But yeah, I'm looking forward to playing more of that. I had family come and visit last weekend. That was nice, and I nearly died. So
Thanks for
So this is a great week.
Still happy about that not happening, by the way.
Yeah.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah. Yeah. It's awkward, but let's be happy. It's nice. How you doing?
Pretty good. I didn't almost die. I don't think. No, I didn't almost die. I did have an allergic reaction to blueberry tea yesterday. So apparently my major weakness is dust and blueberry tea. Those are
I
some
can't
bitch
believe
weeks.
blueberry
Dust
tea almost
and
killed you.
Blueberry tea.
Yeah, that would be bad. No, I have trouble breathing around a lot of the dust, and the tea made me weak enough to almost faint.
Oof.
So, yeah, that's that'd be a hell of a combo if you mix those two. Let's see. I didn't really have a very busy last few weeks, honestly. Things have been pretty tame. Anyone else played Metro Exodus?
No, I have.
I mean, that one's the one that's Epic exclusive currently, so I wouldn't, even if I like the Metro series, which I don't, so...
I do like the Metro series, and I made sure I waited until the price dropped, and I bought it used at GameStop for the PS4. So hopefully they'll see none of my money. I don't know how that works exactly, but I know they don't get a lot of used sales.
Well, I
They were
mean, it's
complaining about that
GameStop,
for a
so
long time.
they've gone belly up anyway, so it's not really...
Yeah.
Your
I don't know.
vengeance has already been sated, so...
Epic's... Wait, who's gone back?
GameStop.
Oh, they're still around.
They're still around, but they're really trying very, very hard to pivot to
Oh,
another
gotcha.
market. Like, they're
Gotcha.
trying to be basically Games Workshop for video games kind of thing now.
Huh. Weird.
It's not going to work, but you know, failing business has to try something, right?
Yeah. Well, so I really, as I said, I really enjoyed the first two Metro games. 2025 and 2026 or something like that. It's two numbers that are dates that are 1 year apart, basically. And so the first two games are very linear. They're in tunnels. The first game is almost entirely in the metro system, so it's literally tunnels. And that worked. That worked really well, actually. There was it had a stealth focus. You could stealth things. I never did that, but you could. And it worked pretty well, based entirely off like lighting and silence weapons and stuff like that.
Yep.
And the supplies were plentiful because most of the enemies you were fighting were human enemies, so you always had ammo. And it's the same in the second game, but you went up to the surface more and you fought monsters. The downside of going to the surface was you had to find supplies, which were hidden in little caches of other people that went up and died up there. The monsters don't drop ammo because they're monsters. So it became fighting monsters, Breath of the Wild style, was always a losing battle. You always spent supplies and gained nothing back. The downside of Metro Exodus is it's mostly monster fight. It's open world, so you explore the world, and then you fight monsters, which is most of what is there, and then you run out of stuff. You can still find supplies scattered around, but it never... So I don't know. I want to enjoy Metro Exodus, but it's also really clunky. Like, the movement, I don't remember it being that... Like, the Metro series has always been a little janky, but it feels
good
worse.
old-fashioned Euro jank.
And I think it is Eurojank. It's Russian jank, which I don't know what you'd call that, but...
Eastern European jank.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure Metro was a Polish joint, I think.
If it was, the source material is Russian novels, so I'm not actually sure who made the game.
I'm looking it up, don't worry.
But, yeah, I don't know. The stealth feels worse somehow. It feels like people can always see me when I can't. There's no alternative. Like, a lot of the... Okay, the game has a weird morality system in the sense of... in the first game, you would get good points for just listening to people talk. Like, exploring the world and exploring the lore and interacting with objects in the world and stuff like that. It wasn't really good guy, bad guy points. It was just your commitment to the world. And this is actually like the bad ending of the first game is canon. In the end of the game, you have a choice to blow up the Dark Ones, these big bad enemy things, and in the good ending, you divert the missile that's about to slam into them, and you do it just in time to save them. In the bad ending, you genocide them. And so yeah, if you don't have enough morality points, essentially. And in the second game, it's much the same. You get points for interacting with the world and stuff like that. And I forget what the ending of the second game is. I think you find more Dark Ones, and so the last remaining Dark One you've been escorting around the game has a home, and you just kind of hope they don't kill you in revenge for the first game. I don't know. But in Metro Exodus, you only get morality points for sneaking around people. You can get them for saving people, but there's only like 10 morality points. In the first game, there were 64 of them. So it feels easier to get the bad ending. And that's, in fact, I already beat the game once. I got the bad ending, which is kind of what you expect to get in these games your first playthrough. But, yeah, I don't know. It just feels like a lot of the decisions they made actively made this game worse compared to the prior game.
It's Ukrainian, by the way.
Oh,
so
interesting.
Basically, the very specifically probably most pissed people that you would piss off the most by calling them Russian, you said were Russian. So, good job.
As in the developers of the setting, because the
developers were Ukrainian.
Oh, okay. I was going to say the main city is in Moscow. That's definitely Russian. So, yeah. Oh well. I apologize. I was uninformed.
It's okay. They're just, halfway to being annexed and stuff, so probably a little bit of a hot button.
Yeah, that situation is a little fucked up.
Yeah, a little
But
bit.
disgusting world of video game.
I'm
Uh,
I'm I've heard a thing about the ending of Exodus and that it makes the whole series stupid.
which aspect of it? Because the game's kind of old. I'm not sure if you want to do cut out spoilers
I mean, we're very
or
much
it's
past
fine.
spoiler talk. Zero, do you care?
I don't care.
Yeah. So spoilers for Metro Exodus, I guess. I don't know whether this is accurate or not, but I've heard that the end of Metro Exodus is, hey, we've been living in tunnels all this time because we thought the world was bombed out and shit everywhere, but nope. Was that a thing?
Oh no, that's true. The
Yeah.
world is shit 98% of the planet. There
Ah,
are
okay.
certain safety zones, and that's what the entire point of the game is to get to one of these safety zones.
Okay, yeah. Because I heard that it was like, hey, guys, what were you doing in that really shit area that you shouldn't be in? Yeah.
Yeah, no. The first place you go to, like, okay, you actually kind of bumble into the secret that the the faction you're working for is blocking all outgoing and incoming signals, so they're keeping Moscow dark, essentially. And when you accidentally destroy the machine that's doing that, it kind of floods in that, oh, there's other outposts around. The first one you go to is the military high command because your faction is the remnants of the military. So you're going to, reconnect with them and say, hey, you got another squadron, you got us help. And they're cannibals. It was the construction crew that the military installation you're going to. The military never arrived. It was the construction crew that was still there building it, and they didn't have any food. So, yeah. So you never actually find a faction that's good. There's just a bunch of gray ones throughout every section of the game.
Yeah.
It's actually really nice. There's the second to last area you go to is this forested valley that's really pristine and really beautiful and has a lot of horrible things in it as far as mutated monsters go. But it's actually a green zone, but just above the valley, kept at bay by a deteriorating dam, is a bunch of heavily irradiated water. So that safe zone is doomed. So you have to move on. But yeah, it has a lot of shades of a good game. It's just not fun to play. I don't know. I've always wanted to read the Metro novels, and I probably will get them at some point. The games fall a little flat, it feels like.
Yeah. Oh well. They weren't Epic exclusive, so fuck them. Still where I stand on that. Sorry.
Oh no, I don't blame you. That's what kept me from buying it until I ran into the situation where it was cheap and used, and not on the computer.
That whole Epic thing is concerning.
Yeah. But I think that's the extent of my week, honestly. I started a D&D campaign where I'm a Kenku gunslinger, so that's been fun.
Nice.
Yeah.
For some reason, that just feels like perfect for you.
Yeah. I've had some pretty bad experiences with birds. I'm nesting in my window for 9 months and giving me a cough for almost a year.
Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah. But whenever I give them the chance, I always seem pulled toward bird creatures. I don't know what it is.
They're infesting you.
Yeah.
Basically, yeah. They planted the seed.
I forgot to
Just birds.
mention. I am currently working on in October for Halloween for my D&D group. I'm going to be running a Call of Cthulhu one shot.
Oof.
Oh damn! And it's a one shot too, so you can drive them all crazy.
So I'm making characters for them. They're gonna have pre-generated characters that they can choose from, and I'm running a module I found for like $5 that is meant for one shots and such, because I'm very new to it and there's a lot to read and a lot of rules to learn. But I'm getting ready to terrify some people.
Yeah, that sounds very appealing. The only thing that threw me off a little bit was a lot of DMs are a little uncomfortable having gunslingers in your campaign because it's a gun and it's kind of a swords and sorcery kind of setting. So I get that. So I expected to use, shitty muskets and muzzleloaders and flintlock stuff. I got a modern 44 Magnum revolver in session 3.
That's brave.
What's the setting like?
It's classic D&D, swords and sorcery.
Because I am DMing 2 games right now, and I have one that's based off the Critical Role world, but 200 years in the past, so guns aren't really a thing. But then I have one.
Yeah.
But then I have one that has a mix of fantasy and sci-fi, and so that's totally a thing in that world. But
It'd be kind of weird if they weren't, really. But no. Even in the first part of session 0 where we made our characters, the DM's like, yeah, you'll probably have to use some lesser technology guns for a while until you actually make your own. And no, just classic old Western style 44 revolver.
How did you get it?
We ran across a magic shop owner, and she had some really eccentric items, like a claymore of claymores, where it was a claymore that if you stabbed in the ground, it would turn into a claymore landmine, and then the blade would grow over the next few hours.
That's really dumb,
Pretty cool.
but I
The
love
shield
it.
of shielding. It was our barbarian got the shield of shield 5 times a day. Just a lot of really silly items, and one of them was just gun. Didn't have a fancy name. It was just called gun.
There was a magic item salesman in my Saturday game, the Tal'Dorei one, that did sell a gun, but it had no bullets. And through the power of some very powerful magic, one of the party members figured out how to make bullets. And then that character had to leave the game, and now one of the game's main villains killed that character, stole their gun and the knowledge on how to make bullets.
Oh shit. That's actually a really good plot hook.
Yeah.
The villain has guns now, shit. But no, it came with 1 bullet, so I have a whopping 1 bullet. I'm just gonna have to spend training with the shopkeeper on how to make it. And pretty much I'm level 2 right now. You don't actually turn into a gunslinger until 3. So in universe, I'm going to be becoming a gunslinger and working with the town blacksmith to make my Tinkerer tool set.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm trying to keep it in universe instead of just magically I'm session 3 and I suddenly know how to use guns and make them and modify them and stuff like that.
Well, at the very least, until you get there, you have basically a zombie apocalypse special. Gun with 1 bullet.
Yeah.
Just in case.
Just in case.
The downside is I have 19 health. The gun does 3d8 or some shit. I could actively kill myself with this thing.
Yeah, if you roll well enough, yeah.
I mean, I got the archer subclass of fighter, so I do 2 extra. No, that's just a hit. Never mind. I do a lot of... So that could end very poorly. But I'm looking forward to it. I don't know if the DM's going to let me do it, but I'm also going to try to hire a wizard to etch spells onto my bullet. So I have a bullet of fireball or something.
I think that's too much.
Probably. Yeah.
But if you get a bullet of magic missile, it always hits.
Pretty much, yeah. Worst case scenario, I just buy a bottle of kerosene and find a way to, tip my bullets with a little bit of fire magic, and there you go. So who knows? It's been fun. I just wish sessions were a little more than once a month.
Yeah, I do a weekly game and then a bi-weekly game.
Bi-weekly would be perfect, honestly.
I've got it. You etch the spell on the hammer of the gun, so that it stamps the bullet with a spell.
It'd probably have to be a minor spell, unless I had a literal cannon.
Well, you want to do it with a cantrip. So basically,
you stamp it with a light spell, so every bullet is a tracer round.
You stab it with a message spell. You're
Also,
sending a
Every
message.
bullet literally says "fuck you."
That the cursed gun from Borderlands, the one that talks. Yeah, that could be my gun. Every time I fire, it goes pew 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 pew. I was actually looking up silly magical items to pass my time a few days ago, and I found the ring of finger guns. And you just make a finger gun at someone and go pew pew, and it does 1d4 damage.
Oh gosh, if we're just okay, so my one of my friends DMs a game set in her own world, and she makes a lot of the magic items.
Mm-hmm.
So we've gotten some pretty ridiculous stuff. One of those being a jar of pickles, and eating these pickles gives you like temp HP, but your skin grows green and pickly, and you're more powerful, but now you're like a pickle for a brief period of time. And it's just
I
Okay.
feel like that's a Rick and Morty joke.
no,
I'm
it's
sure it
not.
probably is.
It wasn't. She's never seen Rick and Morty,
Oh,
which is funny.
did the players make Rick and Morty jokes?
Nope.
Oh, wow.
Just naturally ended up making that.
I'm shocked no one screamed "I'm Pickle Rick" or whatever.
I don't actually know what that's a reference to beyond Rick and Morty, so yeah.
That's it. That's it. It's just
And
Rick
there was
turns himself into a pickle. He says it.
Yeah. There was one thing where I got a potato and I put this hat called the Hat of Police Tato, and it turned the potato into a policeman potato that has a strong sense of justice.
Oh, did he grow or change shape at all, or is he just
Nope,
a potato?
he's just a potato, but he has a hat on now.
Oh,
I think he has
did you
arms
at least
and
give him like
legs.
little toothpick legs or something?
Yeah, I think he has those.
Okay.
He just runs around with the
Come on,
potato.
There's gotta be a pun I can make. There's gotta be a potato-based pun I can make about Police Potato.
Basically,
Detective Spuds.
D&D is as fun as your DM is willing to make it.
Yeah.
And as fun as you're willing to have with, as much fun as you're willing to have with it. Because if you have a very serious DM, a lot of the stuff isn't going to fly.
I mean, our druid captured a goblin and named him Speckles, and is keeping him on a rope until Stockholm syndrome sets in. So,
Wow.
yeah, it's an interesting campaign.
Okay, I think I got it. Does
for it.
Police Potato go into a restaurant and then arrest the other potatoes for being baked?
That's pretty good.
That's pretty good. I remember like I was playing Rogue in that, and when I had to retire my rogue to play a new character, I shared my inventory sheet, and everybody started freaking out because it turned out I had like pages upon pages of items, and everybody's like, "Well, you are a hoarder," and I'm like, "I'm the rogue." Just how it is.
Yeah, no, that's fair. Yeah, the rogue just happens to have all of
Yeah.
If anything goes missing, check the rogue. It's not discrimination, it's just honesty.
Oh no.
What?
Apparently, you know that gacha game? Well, it might be gacha, it might not, but it was going to be done by Yoko Taro.
Yeah.
Yeah, it might be cancelled.
What?
Yeah. Mal just posted about it, and he's laughing because he's an asshole.
Well, that's sad.
Yeah. I was looking forward to that. But then on the other hand, that means Yoko Taro has integrity, so, you know, that's...
So, I do want to share with you guys just this was part one of my character's inventory. Zoomed out all the way.
That's a long I click on it and it zooms in and I still can't read the text. That's a big sheet.
Yep. So, that character had an auction last session in which he sold pretty much everything off.
Didn't that belong to the party?
A lot of the stuff was just like, oh, I'll grab this, and the party was fine with it. I let the party have loot, obviously. It's just, I picked up everything I could grab that seemed of use to sell, and then never sold it.
Oh, well, fair enough.
So there's stuff in there that makes no sense whatsoever. Like, I have because I had a bag of holding, so I threw everything in there.
You would need to if you have that much stuff.
So here's a candle holder. I'm gonna take that. It's made of gold. Mine. Like anything. This is why I don't play Rogue.
Because you have to keep track of a billion items because you can't not take anything that isn't nailed down.
I want it. It's mine. I'm a pirate.
You want it more. I understand.
Look, I just snuck over here. The party's not over here. It's mine.
And then there you go. No one has to know. No, it's fine. That's why I don't play rogues either.
I regularly gave away items to the party. But early on, there was a magic shop with a bunch of faulty magic items, and I was like, I'll take all of these because they were free.
Oh. Okay. I mean, you can just find someone that knows magic and fix most of them, I assume.
I didn't fix any of them.
I mean, that's not how enchantment works either. You can't really fix enchantments.
They were a bunch of experimental magic items, basically, that did
Effective
weird
stuff.
stuff.
Warning.
But everybody was freaking out because that's page 1. I had other pages with more stuff. That's how it is in D&D.
It can be, yes. If you happen to play that kind of character, yeah.
Every other character I've played has never had an inventory like that. It's just the rogue.
I'm just remembering campaign 1 critical role with Grog reading through all the things in the bag of holding.
Yeah.
And how every time he felt the need to mention, hey, we have a troll dick. Every single time.
If you got one, why would you not mention that at every time?
And then never explain where they got it or why.
That's the thing with the bag of holding. If you have one, it's going to fill up with whatever you find that's interesting and then forget about. So
I feel like the party should just share a notebook that's the bag of holding, and then everyone writes in it, but no one's allowed to take anything out. And you just see how long it is.
You see, you try to do that, and then somebody's like, this is the thing I like. I'm going to take out 5,000 gold of the party's party fund for that. It's like, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's why I don't like doing party funds. It's just a bad idea.
That's why everybody's sharing and not being a dick. But D&D is fun.
Yeah.
I have a session today. I play
Great.
Paladin in it.
So, Casey, what's your week?
Yeah.
You said you were pretty full. What?
I'm trying to remember other things that I did, but actually, literally, there's only the one thing that I can think of.
Did you nearly die too?
Is it the
From
commission
surprise, yes. Yeah. Literally out of the blue, like I've never mentioned I was going to do it, but someone messaged me and said, hey, do you do commissions?
Oh.
Sure, was my response. Don't see why not. Was thinking about doing it, but did not pull the trigger on that at any point because I'm a little bitch. So he gives me an idea of what he wants done and is like, cool, I want like 10,000. No, he was like, I have like $200 to spend on this.
Okay.
Cool. Maybe let's go with something a little smaller to start with, just in case, you know, what I write isn't up to what you looking for. So we do, and I now have a 10,000 word commission on the books that I need to finish that I am about 2/5 of the way through. So
That's not bad.
yeah.
What books are there?
He wanted. Well, I've already posted the first part of it, so it's fine. I can say now. It's a Fallout Game of Thrones crossover. Is what he wanted. So
Okay.
Okay. Yeah, I could see that combination being interesting.
yeah. So that's a pretty cool thing that happened that I was over the moon about because was very worried at the time of being in the circumstance of having less money every month. And then it turns out I'm not in less money every month. And also I get commission. So it's, it's a big turnaround from last week. It's pretty good.
Yeah, that's pretty awesome. Also, it's always nice to have your name out there. If you were allowed to post this, I know some commissioners don't like you posting stuff.
Yeah, I did ask first whether that was okay.
Yeah.
And it's like, yeah, sure, whatever.
Most people don't mind. It's usually when someone asking for something personal, or it's like a self-insert kind of thing that's a little weird, but whatever.
Yeah, it wasn't personal. It wasn't a self-insert. Just, general idea of a character and what they would be doing. And that was pretty much it. So
Yeah. But yeah, if you post that and people see, oh, this was a commission, and oh, this is actually really good, then you hope.
that's the hope. So yeah, that was a fun project to start, and I have fun ideas for it and things that can be done. So that's cool. It's probably really nice that the first commission I ever get is actually something I'm interested in writing. That's definitely a plus.
Is what you cut out there for a second?
It's something I'm interested in writing.
Oh, gotcha. Okay,
Yeah.
yeah. No, yeah. Doing stuff you're not interested in is a slog that destroys you.
Yeah, I mean, I would do it because I'd be getting paid for it, and that's how that works. But harder job doing things you don't like. It's also how that works. Yeah, but that's pretty much all I got, I think. Tried to get back into playing Elder Scrolls because I reposted the Whitest Man in Skyrim thing on QQ with an extra scene because they allow sex there. That's a thing that you can do.
Oh, sweet.
And Whitest Man in Skyrim is now the #1 followed story in the Elder Scrolls category on fanfiction.net. So that's cool.
Nice.
Sorry. #1 what? You cut out again.
Followed story on fanfiction.net.
Oh, damn. That's awesome.
So I am kind of on top of a category. Favorites is still a long way away, like 300 away. So that's far.
That's
Nice job, man.
That's not actually that much. I mean, it's very doable.
So that was cool. And starting playing that game again was I know there are fun parts of that game, but getting back to them when you're picking up a character that you've forgotten everything about is not easy.
That's fair. I was going to say, is it clunky or something? I'm not really sure what you meant by that.
Yeah, like I think I had saved and stopped playing literally at the beginning of me going back to a town to sell all my crap and deal with all of that shit and disenchant all the enchanted stuff and fix up the shit and everything, and that's, hey, I stopped at exactly the worst possible point to pick up again. Yay. So yeah, that lasted about 5 minutes, and then I stopped playing because the commission thing happened, and that's been all of my time since, because that's also how that works. So,
yeah, that's understandable.
Yeah, overall, fun week, generally speaking.
Well, congratulations. I'm not only am I happy it happened, but I'm also glad you're having fun with it.
Yeah.
And allowed to have fun with it. That's pretty good.
So, next step. We've done weeks and Zero's alive to tell us how Patreon's doing, I guess.
Yeah, it would be a shame if I had died and not been able to relay this information to you.
Yeah. Sure. Also for other reasons, but sure.
Thank you all for donating to our Patreon. It's Fandom Flux on Patreon. Link down in the description. So, first of all, thank you, Ethan F., for that donation of $10.
Woo.
Thank you, Bomber BCM, for that donation of $20.
Woo.
Thank you, Troper37, for $5 donation.
Woo.
Thank you, Alex, for that $3.50.
Woo.
Thank you, Greek Guy, for that $1 donation.
Yeah.
Thank you, Buy Fresh, for that $1 donation.
Woo.
Thank you to the Cross Brain for that $10 donation.
Woo.
And
that
thank
patient
you
guy's
to
pretty cool.
Ex Nativo for that $7 donation.
Woo. Sorry, I slipped my mind for a second.
So thank you, everybody. Friendly reminder that we do have that new tier with the choosing what anime we watch for our random anime.
Ooh,
and if you guys ever want to redeem that for the money you're putting down, please contact us through the Discord. That's honestly the best way to get in contact with us.
At this point, yeah, pretty much.
Yeah. I don't trust fanfiction.net PMs or the like, or YouTube comments.
Yeah, I haven't talked about the PMs in a fucking long time, and YouTube comments, half the time they don't show up, so yeah, keep that in mind.
Yeah, I'm never sure if the fanfiction.net PMs actually go through. They're supposed to give me an email notification, but I don't trust that they always do. So story updates barely go through.
Yeah,
but no, I actually have really good health insurance at my job, but I do have medical expenses, and usually this little bit of money goes toward my medical expenses. So thank you guys. It means a lot.
Yeah. What else were we gonna do? I've forgotten how the show goes. It's warm. It's warm again, guys. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I turned off my air conditioner. I'm starting to feel it.
Same.
It's getting
fan.
warmer in here.
It's off. And the window's closed again because sound and neighbors are noisy, have kids and such. Recommendations. Does anyone have recommendations beyond Zero saying buy 3 houses, which I kind of tacitly agree with, except I haven't played it. But
yeah, there's the game.
What?
It's a good game.
Oh, sorry.
I just remembered. I never got to talk about it. They showed more Pokemon stuff, and Weezing has a top hat.
Yeah. Does not have a monocle. Not happy about that.
That's an accessory. That's something you put on.
Mega Evolution puts on the monocle.
Yeah, that's the only difference. Just a monocle.
Like
it grows a monocle.
Yeah, just like the smoke mustache, it just grows a smoke monocle on top as well.
Some Pokemon have different forms and they Dynamax, so gigantic monocle smokestack Weezing.
Also, Badger.
Yes.
Fucking Zigzagoon is a badger in fake Pokemon England, which is exactly correct. Badger.
The normal design is a Japanese badger, but it's very different in England. So
it's a badger. It's a bodger and badger. It's fucking great.
And then it has a new evolution.
Yeah. It's an angry badger. No, seriously, I'm not kidding. I'm gonna run a whole fucking team of what is it called? The final evolution of it.
Oh.
God damn
I
it.
really want there to be like an MMO aspect of this, and you're just the crazy guy running around with a team of angry badgers. Not even in Pokeballs. They're just on you, and you just throw them at people.
I'm gonna find that fucking picture that has the name on it. God damn it. God damn it. There wasn't one. God damn it. It's like the Zigzagoon, Linoon, and I don't know what the fucking third name actually means, so it's not easy to remember.
Alright, let me just look it up. We have to know.
Yes.
Okay. Obstagoon.
Obstagoon. What does that even mean?
Well, Zigzagoon, Linoon, Obstagoon.
So I guess it's like zigzag, line, and then obstacle?
Yeah, I guess. And he's a goon.
So like serpentine dodging to just going straight at them and then just stopping things flat, I guess, kind of thing.
Yeah.
That's what it's going for. Yeah.
Also, the evil team, quote unquote, is Team Yell. They're a
Fucking
toxic
yes.
fan base.
It is a fucking goth girl with a team of fat, sweaty, really. Oh, God. It's just a bunch of dudes that are literally there to defend her honor. Oh my God, I love it so much. It's so dumb.
So it's the internet, basically.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Which. So many, there are so many different game properties that are trying to do this. Like Borderlands 3 is trying to do this with the fucking influencer enemy for the new game, and it always comes off crap. It always does, but this one actually seems to be on point and know what it's doing. I hope they do it well because it shows promise so far.
I would say so, yeah. That's I'm looking forward to it.
Also, there was the one thing which was the new Pokemon Morpeko, which is the quote unquote Pikachu of this generation.
It's more Pikachu, is what it is,
And-
because they needed another one after the fucking hamster and the fake Pikachu, and yeah.
And when it's hungry, it goes into hangry mode, and
That's
its
also
signature
really
move
stupid.
goes from electric type to dark type move.
So really, what that means is you're basically starving that Pokemon until it gets a new type and turns rabid.
Teach it the move frustration. There you go.
Yeah. Christ, I love it so much. I can't wait to play it. I know it has problems like, hey, you can't put all of the Pokemon in it yet. I don't have Pokemon Bank. I don't have the thing that lets you do all the things, so I don't care. I just want to play the game.
Yeah, the only people who care are really diehard Pokemon fans.
Which tend to be the loudest ones, which is not great, but yes.
Like, I have played all the Pokemon games, and I don't really care that much. As long as the game itself is fun and good, I'm fine.
It bothers me, and it bothers me because I know they could have done it, but they just decided to save time and money by not doing it.
And at that point, that's the corporate side more than anything.
But I just want to play the game at this point. It's not a feature I'm going to lose my goddamn shit about, so yeah.
There's still people who are so angry about that every single time there's a...
And I get it. I get why they're angry, but, you know.
You gotta let it go at some point. 'Cause every single time there's a tweet about Pokemon, it's just flooded with people who are just upset. Every time.
Except when they're tweeting artwork about fucking Bee or the water trainers. I've forgotten what her name is.
Nessa?
Thank you, Nessa. Yes.
Like, there's got to be a point in which you just like, maybe there's a better way to spend my time.
Hmm.
Because they're not going to change if you just keep yelling at them. They're not listening. And if they are listening, they've already heard.
Oh, also, Pokemon Masters is out in certain territories, like Canada, for some reason, and Singapore. And apparently, it's a gotcha game. Like, they went hard into the gotcha game side of that.
Didn't we already know that?
Yeah, we're talking multiple different kinds of micro. Like, Fate Go is you buy Saint Quartz. That's it. This is a little more complicated with multiple different kind of monetization, quote unquote, features and things like that.
Thank you, Pokemon Company, for slowly becoming villains.
They tried to be the good guys with Super Mario Run. They did. They said, "Hey, here's a video game. You can buy it."
The difference is that's Nintendo.
It's all Nintendo. This isn't even the Pokemon Company. This is Nintendo putting pressure on their subsidiary, the Pokemon Company, and saying, "Hey, do it this way because we've tried it the other way. It doesn't work."
Are you sure?
That's all there is to it. And even if it isn't, again, the Pokemon Company watched Nintendo try and do it the right way, and it flopped. So,
because I remember just recently there was a news article, and we were at the end of the podcast earlier, but there was just a news article where they were discussing Nintendo, Sony, and Microsoft are now forcing games on their platforms with any sort of loot drops or gacha type mechanics to disclose drop rates.
Yeah, that's a China thing. That's because every company is trying to chase the Chinese market now, and they have a thing where if you're going to do like random chance rewards, you need to disclose what the reward chances are going to be. That's legally obligated. You have to do it if you're going to sell in China.
I don't know. Honestly, I can only play one gacha game.
I'm pretty satisfied with Fate Go, to be honest.
Yeah, I got freaking Swimsuit Nero, so I'm good.
You fucker.
No, that's the thing that companies don't seem to understand or want to accept is that people generally only want one live service or gacha or whatever the fuck in their life. There's just not room for more than one unless you just like spending money. And maybe that's what they're banking on.
That Dragalia Lost gacha game, I played that for a while and I enjoyed it, but at the end of the day, they went way too hard on making everything super complicated. And it's like the reason why I can like Fate Go is because it's relatively fairly simple in terms of what you upgrade and what you go with.
Yeah.
Like imagine if instead of just upgrading your servant and upgrading their skills, Noble Phantasm, you had to go through an entire tree that required resources to make a weapon that was good for them. On top of all of that.
Yeah. Like, you have an entire equipment system. Hey, you need to give this character a helmet and a sword, armor, boots, gauntlets, greaves, fucking just the whole lot. And, hey, why not double up and give them, like, casual clothes under that as well? And also, skills have an extra mechanic behind them to make them slightly stronger still than what you can already make them. And, yeah. To be honest, I'm basically describing Epic 7 from if memory serves, which I hated because it was so fucking complicated and I just didn't care enough yet for all the mechanics that they were feeding me.
And it's like why I can't get into Granblue. It's the same sort of thing of like all these mechanics suddenly get shoved down your throat. Like, wait, what? Huh? And it's like I can appreciate the art's nice. I guess, but it's not fun to play.
and then compare
It's
it to
not
Fate
great.
Go, where it's just like, hey, you got a 7. Feed them XP cards to make them stronger. Cool, they're stronger now. Go. That's it.
You don't need multiples of them to progress. And I like that. You can get multiples. That's nice. It's a bonus. You don't need multiples.
Yeah.
So,
Anyway, we got really distracted. We were supposed to be doing recommendations.
yeah, we're supposed to be ending the podcast, but yeah.
I do have a recommendation, which is fucking... What was it called? Bokusha no Hero Academia, which is a quest on Fiction Live, which I can't link now that I think about it, but you can Google that shit. Bokusha, Bokusha, no Hero Academia. It's a pun. Which is a quest about original character, protagonist, who is a boxer with the quirk where his punches or just hitting people will leave an echo effect that is like 80% as powerful, and then 60%, and then 40%, and it'll just keep hitting them over and over again. And it's pretty cool. And yeah, doing interesting things with the story and giving spotlight to characters that generally don't get the spotlight, like Jiro, which is nice. So
Cool.
That's pretty much my recommendation. So where are we at? Oh, fucking hell. We thought this was going to be a short one. All right.
Yeah, shame on us.
Well, not really. We can make a longer show and make a longer show. All right.
Yeah.
So, thanks for listening to the Fandom Flux podcast, episode... if you'd like to get in contact with us, you can do so through the YouTube channel through the comments, though it's spotty, so we would probably prefer if you did it through the Discord. Link in the description. There's some cool people on there that occasionally have stupid arguments, but, you know, that happens on every Discord server. Please donate on Patreon if you feel so inclined. Once again, link in the description. Very much appreciate it. Slice has medical bills, and Zero probably has insurance payments out the ass right now.
Hey guys, $500 deductible. Woo!
Yeah. So once again, thanks everybody for listening to the Fandom Flux podcast. Bye everybody.
See you guys.
I'll make sure to live until next week.
You better.